Everybody, happy Wednesday. I'm going live on YouTube, as you guys know. Sorry for the multitasking, looking at different devices, but I'm so excited to have Cheer Chat. I'm just like, I got notes on notes on notes. Okay, there's so much to go over. I tried to organize my thoughts. We have a lot to discuss. I'm so excited. So, a few housekeeping items. Seattle finally has a heat wave. Summer arrived. And so, if I start to melt and just fall apart, it's because we don't have air conditioning in Seattle. Okay. So, I'm not in menopause or anything. I'm just going to be hot at some point. I have a fan and I hope you can hear me. Um, but it's hard. It's just hot. It's hot, y'all. And then it takes forever for the sun to go down. It goes down around like 10 o'clock. So, it's hot and it gets warmer in the evening. So, bear with me. Thank you everybody for joining. There's just so much to talk about. I'm just going to get into it. I have my rosé all day glass. It is not full, y'all. I figured, I'm going to sip and chat, grab a drink. How is everybody feeling? Okay, like why am I sore from going to Las Vegas for Pro Action Dance? I mean, I didn't dance, but I feel like I'm sore and tired and all of the things, and I don't know how you guys did it. I'm so incredibly proud of everybody who attended, the choreographers, the staff, like everybody just worked so hard this past weekend. And I just want to acknowledge your effort, like your heart and soul and all of that energy put into learning those routines just back to back to back to back to back and performing for all of your peers, being a role model to all of the college dancers that were in attendance. It was just an inspiring weekend, and I'm going to get all up into it. I'm so glad I met you in person too, Javon. Here's the thing. Okay, just to preface everything, in my heart and soul, I really wanted to like go dig up names of people on rosters, like with all of my shout outs. I really wanted to be like super thorough, but then I wouldn't have went live until like, next week sometime. So um I I can't tell you how fulfilling it is to go in person to events and see people that you follow, that you admire, and meeting them in person for the first time. I mean, it's just like, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I'm really grateful. My heart is so full. And I'm just going to be spilling it over in today's little cheer chat. Bear with me if it's long, y'all, because I got stuff to talk about, and we have some other updates to give. So, without further ado, Kimberly watching on YouTube, sipping on her pina colada. I know that's right. Get a cocktail, get some wine. I'll read comments. I'll try not to miss stuff. You know how I am with this. I'm just a little special. But so far, I haven't missed anything. Um, and I will try not to read names if you don't want to. But somebody said we worked so hard. It was an amazing experience, and so proud of yourself. I'm proud of you guys. Like, I'm proud. I'm so proud. I definitely was like recording everything like a proud dance mom, but it was just incredible. I mean, a just nonstop weekend. And again, your bodies must still be on like, how did I do this? Especially for people who had to go to practice on a Tuesday. I came back Monday at night and I just crashed like a train. Like, I don't know. I don't know how you guys are doing it. You guys deserve the day off from practice, like a woosah moment. Yeah, you have your own choreography for your team to worry about. I know you things are heating up for the NFL for the season. So if you had to go to practice on Tuesday, you get extra kudos from me because your bodies must just be exhausted. Okay, are we ready? I'm sorry for the light behind me. I feel like every time if you're blinded by it, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna sip. All right, if you're new to the podcast, because I've been noticing the follower count is kind of creeping up a little bit, I appreciate you. Thank you for joining. This is, the Pro Cheerleading Podcast. It's wrapping up the 10th season pretty soon here. We have a few more episodes to go, so I just want to welcome you. And, this is like a community of nothing but love. I cover pro cheerleading. I wish I could cover college cheerleading as well. Gosh, that's so apparent in watching the performances this past weekend that I really wish that there was a way to cover and follow everything that happens on the collegiate level. I mean, of course, the like major news stories that came up this past season, and a lot of similar issues to the pro space, right? Of just getting the respect that you deserve and being able to compete, having, just equality with other athletics within, collegiate sports. So we talk about it, but I mean, I really, yeah, man, when I looked at the registration list for Pro Action, I mean, there's so many schools and so many colors, and I thought I would know a school, but I was dead wrong. So I'm going to do my best. Somebody says, so nice to meet you. Thank you for everything you do for the pro world. It was an amazing weekend. Oh my gosh, so good meeting you too. You guys, I'm going to be gushing, okay? So just be prepared. Okay, so the one thing I want to mention, I shared it in my story only to tame myself and to hold myself accountable. I really just wanted to kind of speak to um, something that will be an ongoing conversation because we do have a hip hop episode coming up. And so I'm really excited to get their take on this question that I raised in my story. But I asked about cultural appropriation in pro sports, or not pro sports, pro cheerleading and dance. And, just for frame of reference, I love dialogue. Clearly, I'm chatty patty, and I love to hear from everybody. I love learning from everyone. I don't mind putting myself out there to express my views, and I don't mind a difference of opinion on any level whatsoever. Freedom of speech, what our country is founded on, the First Amendment. So I'm not one to shy away from interaction that may be, challenging or difficult in terms of like hearing opinions and thoughts that you don't agree with. I mean, I have my thoughts and opinions. I share them every day, all day. But I do want to reiterate that, like, the truth behind the poems is intended to kind of be guided by the truth. And if this is your truth, my truth, like, that's undeniable. And you can't be mad at the facts, right? You can't be mad at the truth. I try to provide like a very detailed research and analysis when I can, and, a basis for my opinions and my thoughts. Um, I posted an engagement with someone who was writing from, I guess, a blocked account, who actually had been in my DMs before with a little bit of a tone, noticed it. But I shared it because I just want to provide a public service announcement that, and I'm sure you're watching, whoever you were, that's not the type of dialogue that you'll be able to have with me in this podcast. To the extent you want to have a little spar or whatever, and like exchange ideas and disagree with me, you can do that, absolutely. But you're not going to be successful at like baiting me into an argument with you. Um, if you want to engage, I think the mature thing to do would be to say I don't agree. The statement was, I don't think cultural appropriation exists, or something to that effect. Um, Offering why or what the basis of your point is would be helpful if you want to have an exchange. And I don't ever want to come across you guys as like condescending or anything like that. But I literally was driving and trying to text at lights, trying to engage, because I do think, even like I said, if it's something that I don't necessarily agree with, and that was my first response, I'm willing to a certain extent have an exchange so that maybe you learn something or I learn something. Who knows? But I do not have the capacity to kind of like do research for you and kind of shoot in the dark, providing an example that wouldn't necessarily like hit home at the point that you're trying to make. So it wasn't to come across as like condescending. And I know that you made reference to your Ivy education, and I could have gotten to this pissing match with you over like the fact that I went to Georgetown University, the fact that I have my JD, Juris Doctor and Master of Business Administration, MBA from Temple University, the fact that I passed the bar exam in 3 different states on my first try, which would mean that I'm pretty capable of getting into an argument with the internet troll. But I don't necessarily think that makes a person, and it's not something that I need to wear on my sleeve. I'm very secure in my intellect. But I just think that I want to make it clear that that's not where I'm coming from. It's just, if you want to engage with me and have a conversation and a dialogue and a back and forth, then state your position. Like, give something to go off of. Like, There are a million examples of cultural appropriation in the interwebs, the Google machine, whatever you want to call it. And if you wanted something specific, then I could have spoken to that. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. I like giving examples that are very pointed. I think it's more effective when you're making an argument that way. But to assume that I was coming from a condescending place and then also to kind of yickety yak about um, the weaknesses in my argument and being pathetic. Like, we don't do that here. Like, I don't trust. Like, I'm a Scorpio and I literally, like, I can flip like a switch and it's not about that, but it's just, I really am very even keeled, but I won't be disrespected on my own platform. And I don't know, to be honest, if this platform is really, for you. I encourage you to listen to this PSA, but this is a space of love and truth and light. I hold everybody up. I think this was a very, very interesting conversation to have. It's generated a lot of like just thought provoking, right? You guys, like, I think that from conversations that I had while I was at ProAction, like DMs that were coming in, it was definitely thought provoking, and that's the goal. And it's never to put anybody down. It's never to kind of that's not what I'm about. That's not what the Pro Cheerleading podcast is about. I just thought that needed to be said before I hop into all of my very, very positive, very excited commentary on ProAction. So I'm going to move on after I check comments to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. Somebody says talk that ish on YouTube. I'm just, it just needed to be said. So there we go. Exactly. Someone says you can have an adult conversation without acting like a juvenile. Hello from Italy. Ciao. No, not ciao. What's bon? Oh, forget it. Hello from Italy. I love Florence. The end. Okay, maybe the rosé's hitting. I'm going to take a sip. If you guys want to jump in on that, I encourage you to stay tuned to the hip hop episode. I'm definitely going to ask the panel of people that will be joining just their thoughts on that question. Okay, and then I'm going to sip and then we'll move on. This is a big glass. I think it's kind of awkward, but it's so cute. Okay. If I two-handed, don't say anything. All right. So Vegas. You guys, okay. I'm going to just start from the beginning. Alaska Airlines lost my box of tote bags that I was going to give away. So that was kind of like sad, but you guys just lifted me up right away with, my first morning there. Thank you. Shout out to Danielle for the freaking tickets to training camp. I went with Jasmine, from Next Level Prep, and we went to training camp. It was like friends and family day. They were giving away all this swag. I should have ate the food because I wanted to try those donuts. But it was amazing, just being able to see their brand new facility, like where the players are, and then getting a tour of the Raiderettes facility afterwards was freaking so cool. Shout out to Tiff. Some exciting, amazing things happening with that program, and just being able to go there and see this studio in person that everybody's posted about. Like, that was a moment, and I need to get my posting act together. I have so many pictures from this weekend, but it is what it is. But that started everything off on such a great note. On Saturday, I also had lunch with Geraldine. It was so exciting and so fun to actually meet her finally in person. We had a wonderful meal and just chatted it up, and I'm excited to have her before the season ends. So anyway, so shout out to just taking the time, you guys. Like, sometimes, like, if you're like, oh, I'll be in town, and you're hoping things get together, sometimes things don't work out. I mean, I just really appreciate taking the time to see me and meet me, come say hi. Like, it was just, I'm one person trying to be everywhere, and it's not always easy, but you guys sought me out, and I really appreciate everything. And what else? Oh my gosh. So just in general, like on Saturday, they did have a combine at ProAction, and I wasn't able to attend that. But from everything that I've heard from directors, from dancers who participated, it was an incredible experience. They did like it was kind of like a mock audition in a way. Like, they had numbers, they did an across the floor, learned a routine from Oscar. I don't know if there was somebody else. These are just little tidbits that I picked up. But each director had, I think, 2 tickets to provide to dancers that stood out. And they just said it was just like so phenomenal. And so kudos to everybody who put themselves out there to do that. I hope you learned something from the experience. There were some incredible dancers this whole entire weekend, so that's a great idea to try to, almost kind of create like a little bit of a draft vibe, which makes me think, P.S., that remember when I did the NFL draft because the draft was on and I was kind of like slightly bored and I was like, what if we did an NFL draft? But I got to meet a couple people that I drafted, like Javon from the Saints crew and Taylor from the Atlanta Falcons. If I forgot somebody, I'm so sorry. But just again, this is kind of leading into the point of being able to meet people in person. There's so many people that I want to shout out, but I don't want to leave anybody out and make them seem like, I wasn't intending to shout this out as well. But I'm going to put some standouts into this conversation because I was just hella pumped. So Jesse Hernandez, you guys, one of the 3 male cheerleaders that helped kind of shift things in the NFL, with males as dancers and not stunters. Meeting him was just like a full circle moment from season 1 of the podcast with the Boys Just Want to Have Fun episode. So just seeing him was just remarkable, and being able to have a conversation and looking throughout the room and seeing so many male dancers, both at collegiate level and pro, like the space has changed. And it's just, I don't know, these trailblazers, seeing Quentin out there as a choreographer, like these are just, the space has come a long way in the past 4 years. And so it was like I said, a full circle moment. So shout out to Jesse. Somebody says, we love Jesse and that they miss him. I'm making sure I didn't forget anything else. Oh, people said period. Okay, thank you. But this is our community, right? This is how we talk. This is how I talk. Y'all get it. She didn't, but she knows now. Okay, what else? All right. So I also, you guys, and I'm super excited, got to meet Emily Owens. Now, she reached out to me over email. I don't even remember when. She's a law student in her 3rd year, and she was writing a paper for one of her classes on NFL cheerleading and the lawsuits. And I have not had a chance to read it yet, but she had reached out for like resources, and I don't fully remember the exchange all the way, but just, it was so nice that she introduced herself and just I had a million questions about her paper. But you guys, from people getting their PhD and talking about issues in our space, law students talking about like the legal claims that have gone on throughout the years. I mean, this has made our space better. And thinking of law students in school, again, maybe because my legal background, I just think there's a lot of content there to learn from, and I can't wait to read her paper. But shout out to you, Emily, for coming over and saying hi. I would have been like bummed if you're like, I was there and I didn't get to meet you. So I would love to have Emily on, like a chat with me where we can kind of talk about highlights from her paper. So she said yes, so we'll do that. And who else did I want to kind of call out? There were just so many moments, but it'll hit me. So if I come off random and start saying something, it's because I just remembered. I'm trying to follow my notes, but things. Okay, let's just get into PAD fully. Combine happened Saturday. Everything pops off Sunday morning, bright and early. My son came with me, as you guys may know or remember me saying. And he came down when he came down, but I was there bright and early at my little table without my bags, whatever. I tried to hit Target and buy some snacks for y'all, but I didn't really get a chance to like promote the fact that I had some power, what do you call them? Power bars, energy bars, fruit snacks, a little bit of candy, a little something, whatever. I brought it home with me. But anyway, let's go. I want to give a shout out to the Pro Action Dance Convention staff. I mean, Mina and Marino Ortega that are kind of the masterminds behind this event. You have Greg, who's on video, Lindsay Rosenberg, who was the amazing photographer, giving you guys the content you wanted to see. And then Millie and Dan Wilson, Valerie Ying, and Andy Vodka. I didn't see you listed in staff if I remember correctly, but everybody was just phenomenal in terms of just putting this event together. All of the vendors that were there, I really wanted to kind of go through the list of vendors, but it's okay. There were some new vendors there though, which was exciting, like Rebel Athletics, and I'm going to shoot myself now because not literally, but just new vendors, and maybe I'll think to mention them next time. Okay, my hair is not cooperating, but I wanted to like mention the fact that there were new vendors in the room. Again, I appreciate the opportunity to be there with my itty bitty podcast. But again, thank you for everybody that came by the table or said hello. I appreciate the time. So what I did, y'all, to organize my thoughts was to break down all of the choreographers, okay? And then just my observations after looking at the videos and seeing who kind of like really drew my eye and attention. So there might be team shout outs, it might be individuals just based on who I was able to get by name. But that's how we're doing it. And I'm going to kind of go through like my my favorite teams, like every single person who represented that team, like showed up, showed out. The individual dancers that stood out, my favorite choreographers from the weekend, and kind of like the you better not sleep on this choreographer category that I just made up on the spot. But you guys ready to get into it? I'm going to take another sip. Somebody said you are such a light. Oh my gosh. This is Emily. Hey, I couldn't wait to meet you. Also full circle because Jesse is like my brother. Get the heck out of here. So thank you for all of your support. Oh, that's so awesome. I didn't know that connection. See, we're all connected. And that's why respect and love is just what belongs up in this joint, you know? All right, I'm going to sip with two hands so my hands don't rock. Okay. Okay, I'm ready. Okay. Okay. Did I get all my notes? All right, here we go. Oscar Hernandez. All right, so we have the heavy hitters. At this, everybody's a heavy hitter that's on this list of choreographers, and y'all already know about them. So it's not like I'm going to tell you something that you ain't know before. But he did 3 routines. Have Mercy, this mix. That was like the first story that I posted where I was like, oh shoot, it's about to be going down this convention. He did one with Call Me, that old song. Well, old song, I don't know how old it is, but just was a little different flavor for Oscar. I mean, usually he's giving, I like seeing the variety and just kind of like, I'm going to do this, like what their choices are as choreographers. And then Ziki, don't ask me if I'm saying that right. But anyway, his choreography is so fast. I'm sure everybody can agree that's taken a class with him. He had Ariana, former Sacramento Kings dancer, assisting. And honey, I would love to see you dance because she was, the assistants, even for the master class, I'll get into that later. And goodness gracious, I did not write her name down, but I know it. The assistants were killing the game. You all need, Quentin did the whole damn thing himself, and I don't know how he taught like that, but like the assistants were holding it down, dancing really hard and just helping the choreographers. So shout out to all of the assistants that were there, all those people that were involved with the demos. Like you worked hard too. Everybody worked hard. Okay. So my notes on Oscar, besides just like yes to everything, it's just that these are just shout outs of people that like just made me like scream at my computer watching it back. So the Colts, the Winterhawks, the Patriots, the Saints. Drees, am I saying your name right, love? Okay, on the Have Mercy, like I just wanted to that's when I screamed at my computer. And there's also some dancers from colleges. If I could figure it out, I'll try to call it out. But FIU was representing so hard. Like I kept thinking they were a pro team of some sorts in their college, but whatever, they're so good. But I just think Oscar's choreography is iconic. You know a routine when you see it. He delivered the way that Oscar delivers. I just liked, because I haven't actually been able to take a class. And this year, you guys, compared to last year, I did go to more of like, because the vendors were inside of the convention area where they were teaching. Last year, we were outside. And so I kind of felt like I was like, I'm so happy to be here. And I'm just going to like be a fly on the wall in the way, way, way back. I just didn't walk around in the convention as much last year. But this year I decided, screw that. I want to see the teaching styles of the different choreographers. So I did a lot more walking around and watching the interaction between the choreographers, and was just really interesting. And it all comes together. And I just love seeing how they kind of coach everybody through like really, really difficult choreography. And Oscar is just like, everybody wants to dance so hard for him and wants to get it. And just, I just watch people power through. Like you see them coming off the side for like water breaks. And it's just, you could tell that they're like, holy, what the hell have I stepped into? But it all just comes together and it feels good. You know what I mean? So shout out to you, Oscar. And I have the cutest picture of us like saying goodbye and hugging each other. I just adore you. And, I think I was going to like identify my favorite routine from each choreographer. And Oscar, Have Mercy, that's it. That was my routine. Let me make sure I didn't forget anything. I have notes all over the place. Did I say the Winterhawks? I did say the Winterhawks. If I didn't, the Winterhawks were killing it too. I'm so thankful for our little picture together. I'll be posting stuff anyway. Okay. All right. Rob Rich is next. Please tell me y'all, you know who Rob Rich is. He did 3 routines. Let's Get Loud. What you would think, like, Let's Get Loud, like, yeah, that's like a very, very popular song, perhaps overused song, but so freaking good of a routine. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. And then The Sweetest Pie, which is a really, really cute number. And then Gonna Make You Sweat, okay, which like everybody dance now. These are songs again that it may have been like overplayed in like the sports context, but the way he flipped it and mixed it and the dances that he put into it, like literally the ones that appeal to me. I mean, I'm no dance connoisseur, okay? I mean, I did it for 5 years. I love it, blah, blah, blah. And don't think my commentary is trying to sound like I need to be a Dancing with the Stars judge. It's not, but I go off of what choreography makes me feel. And like if I felt something watching it, right? Like I'm looking for who's selling it. I'm looking for like something that makes me want to get up and dance with you. And Rob's routines, oh, I gotta pause due to poor connection. I'm back. I hope my mouth is synced with the video. But I was saying that Rob's choreography does that for me. Like I feel good watching it. And he put some dances in there like that just make you want to like, I don't know, just make you want to move. It's like everybody was in their element, like just straight dancing. Like it wasn't it's not that there weren't steps, but there were just moments of getting your little, you know what I mean? Like you could just do what you want to do. You could show so much personality. And it was kind of like a little bit of old school dances throwback with the Gonna Make You Sweat mix. Uh, Man, I enjoyed his routines a lot. Like they're really engaging in terms of the crowd. Like, and it just, like I said, if I feel something from watching it. And so I just really appreciate that everybody who performed his routines looked like they were having fun doing it. It wasn't like, and you're cramming all this information into a short period of time, these dancers, right? And so they're, it's a lot of memory retention. Not all the routines were perfect and stuff, but the ones where people had like that look of joy, like I'm having fun with this, it just I felt that, and that's what I saw with his routines. He had this routine from the Gonna Make You Sweat one where I do have people to shout out or dance or teams because I didn't put names. With this formation and the way he started the routine, it was almost like kind of like the band dancers with HBCUs where a couple people will start the move and everybody like jumps in. Don't quote me, I know what it's called, but whatever. Okay. So that happened, and everybody in this like the Pelicans, and I know her name is Kennedy, the Hawks. I'm so sorry because I was writing names and I was like, I can't keep this up. Pelicans, the Hawks, the Memphis Grizz girl, Nay. I mean, I think it's short for something else, but yes, served. The Falcons dancers, shit, it's happening. I will curse. The Pacers, Rip City Crew, like FIU again, they stood out on this routine. I was just hyped as hell watching like that whole little formation and the way that you guys like brought the energy, like it was through the roof. Everybody just that was just okay. So Rob, that was my favorite routine. Gonna Make You Sweat. It was like so engaging. It had me hyped. It made me want to dance with you. Everybody looked like they were having fun. Nobody looked stressed out. It just was dope. Okay. How am I doing? This might be long. Okay, I'll try to keep it on pace. Michelle Vaughn is next. We all love Michelle. Okay, like again, heavy hitters. There's just no. I'm not going to tell you something that you don't already know. She did a Sierra mix, We Set Trends, and About Damn Time by Lizzo. And I just, what I appreciate about Michelle is like, her teaching style. Um, I got to hang out with Lindsay Rosenberg and Maddie. Hello, Maddie. Watching Michelle teach for a little while. And I'm just, again, this is a high stress environment. Like everybody wants to do their best. They're representing their team. They feel, I think, a lot of pressure. And, walking the room and observing and feeling that tension in the dancer's face. I mean, congrats, because you guys all pushed through that. And it's so important that you experience like that you can get through that. You know what I mean? If you did, you can do anything, right? Like after this weekend. But I liked the vibe of Michelle's teaching style of just kind of putting people at ease as they learn, like definitely demanding and wanting, you to get the steps and whatnot, but it was just felt like, um, just felt like just good vibes. I really just appreciated that kind of lack of tension, if you will. Um, I didn't feel the stress, and I don't think the stress reads on the dancers when they're dancing either. Um, and I also like about Michelle's choreo is that she takes, like, in terms of song choices, like doing a mix from a particular artist, I think is almost better because you got to switch and chop and screw shit up so you don't end up in copyright trouble, copyright jail. But I do think it works better when there are multiple songs of an artist that you kind of put together versus like one song that you put a bunch of sound effects to so that you can kind of steer away from it. So I really enjoy your mixes, Michelle, whoever does your music for you, or if you do it yourself, because a lot of choreographers do that. It just works. It's fun. The Sierra mix had all of her little goodies in there. Um, all the good parts of the songs. You know what I mean? So Michelle's dope. And for some of them, there were just too many good ones. And so I couldn't come up with one. The Sierra mix in About Damn Time was probably the most fun. I thought the partner work in About Damn Time was so cute. Shout out to Nicole from the Nuggets. Like, I just loved watching her have fun during that routine, both when she was learning and when she performed. Those are my notes. Okay, moving on. What did I miss? Did I miss anything? La, 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 la. Okay, FIU. Yeah, shout out to freaking FYU. FYU. FIU. Okay. So good. You guys look like pros out there. All right, the next one is Cash Garrett, former DCC. You all know her. It was so cute because watching her class and kind of observing, she had a lot of college dancers in one of her classes. I didn't notice a lot of pros, but you could tell like every time that they would go off and get something to drink, they were like, they're just starstruck. It was so cute because like everybody looks up to you, both each other as dancers, the choreographers, like everybody's just so excited to be learning from you. And just seeing that was just kind of like endearing because I mean, her accent, number one, her personality, I think people are just really excited to learn from her. Um, and what did I say? Oh, so on that note, I kind of felt like in watching back that performance with a lot of collegiate dancers, it just kind of really became clear like what the difference can be between collegiate and pro. Even if you're doing the same routines, there's like, because some people have mentioned like with pro action, you have collegiate dancers, pro dancers all doing the same choreography. Like, what's going to be the differentiator between the two? I mean, there's pro level, obviously collegiate, but like if we're all doing the same stuff, what's going to be the difference? And I would say from watching, um, pros just have like this like performance quality that allows you to kind of show your own individuality in the way that you slay a routine. That I feel like collegiate dancers seem more trapped in their bodies. Like, they're great dancers and they execute, but I don't think that they have found that freedom yet, if that makes sense. Like, and maybe collegiate style is like meant to like, you all need to look so much the same to be clean that you do not stray outside of that box. Like, do not do it. Maybe they do it in auditions, but they really are trained to nail choreography exactly as taught and like don't color outside the lines. Whereas pro, I feel like the way that you guys like, not even in the positions that the choreographers put you in the formations, it's just wherever you were, my eyes gravitated towards you because you are adding the extra cherry on top and drawing me in to want to watch you. Like, I'm not looking at everybody as a collective necessarily and wanting to see everybody moving together. Like, there's just, it's just that little variable where it's like just the right amount of like doing too much. So I just wanted to kind of point that out as I was watching because that particular class for Cash did have a lot of collegiate dancers. She did this cute little number. So she did Everybody Wants You, a little rock song, a little bit, and Deja Vu, a little Beyonce mix. Oh, somebody said you're spot on. Thank you. I mean, drinking rosé might come out wrong. You know what I'm trying to say, but good if I nailed it. Listen, Cash. Okay, so I saw her in the elevator, either going up to my room or going down, and introduced myself. She's just so darling. But she's got this little move, and I'm not going to get up and do anything, but where she like slaps her thigh and like kicks her heel up. I freaking love that move. Like, I'm not it's just like such a little, she's just got the sass in her choreography and I'm so here for it. I just I liked her style. She makes me want to buy some cowboy boots and flick my thigh and kick my little leg up. It was just so cute. So anyway, I loved it. Somebody said nailed it. Spot on. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Keep me on track, y'all. Here we go. I'm turning the page. Aren't you happy? Next is Quentin. Quentin, I can't say your last name right, so I'm just going to say Quentin. Um, Quentin, this is like the second time I think as a choreographer with Pro Action. So he did a. So if you guys listened to the episode with Quentin, if you didn't, you should. His episode is called Last Dance, and he was talking about like how he loves classics, like disco funk, kind of like stuff that just make it's just undeniable. You want to dance to it. So he ended up doing like a Let's Groove Tonight mix and Knock on Wood, and then some West Coast hip hop, Still Dre, and You Can Do It, Put Your Back Into It, little mix, right? And all three were bangers. Like I just loved his clean choreography. I loved listening to him record the counts and like what he used. Just all the commentary. You know how choreographers are, like boom, cat, wow, wow, blah, blah, whatever. His was just, I wish I could have recorded that because I loved it. Just, he's a great teacher. He did not have an assistant. He was on top of chairs, lost his voice, like doing the most. And I mean, the hard work and the way that he drilled it with his dancers, I think paid off. His choreography was clean. Um, and again, like his song choice, I just really think adds to like the fluidity and the movement with the choreography, if that makes any sense. Like it flows. It's not, because I guess when I come away like watching a bunch of routines, like just you're sitting down for the showcase and it's routine, you can tell when it's just like a lot of complexity in like the steps or the moves, but it doesn't always like connect or flow as much as one, it doesn't always. I'll just say that. And so it's really nice when you can kind of see um, just the flow of it, because I feel like that allows your body to kind of move with it versus like thinking about what you need to do next. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like, and I appreciate that about Quentin's choreography. It flows, it connects, it goes with the music so well. Like the way that he teaches it and the things that he'll say, or the way he'll sing the song when he's teaching, like you can kind of feel where he's going with it, and I appreciated it. Quentin, I could not pick between the groove mix and Still Dre, You Can Do It. But because we went through the whole throwback route, I'm gonna go with the groove mix because I love the song choice. I do. That's just like a classic. So that gets my vote. All right, y'all. The next choreographer is Nicole Dragani. I hope I'm saying your last name right. She is a first time choreographer for Pro Action, to my knowledge. Um, she is a Boston Celtics dancer, from what I can tell, because they don't have their bios updated. I don't know if she's still on the team or not, but yo, listen, she was like, man. So she's the only choreographer that got, I can't pick a favorite routine, all three. She did Industry Baby, Poke It Out, and Bust a Move. And I have words just because she just wrapped up her rookie year for the Celtics. Are you kidding me? Rookie year on PAD or rookie year on the Celtics? If she's a rookie year for the Celtics, I'm really gonna have a problem. That's like coming out of clear blue sky as a rookie. If this is a rookie year as a Pro Action dance choreographer, I can absorb. No, he said for the Celtics. Wow, rookie year. Wait a minute. So you have a rookie year as an NBA dancer. You come into a dance convention of this magnitude and you freaking kill the whole goddamn game. She is iconic, said someone in the comments, and wow is all I can say. Wow, wow, wow. So Nicole, listen, even to tie it back to the question about like hip hop and pro cheer, like this is like flowing all through your veins and soul and all of the things. Like I feel like you gave them hip hop. You were my son's favorite choreographer. Like I just had words because I just couldn't even. First of all, I love song choice. Poke It Out is like, I hope everybody knows the original song that Poke It Out was based on. The Vibrant thing, that was my shit back in the day. Anyway, the song choice was like just so good. And I love the way that you took it back with Bust a Move. I mean, I don't know where to begin, and I'm trying not to like overly gush, but I put like energetic, dynamic, powerful. It just matches. Like I feel like in terms of the vibe of the song and the music choice, like it fit. Like she got into like a character, a zone, a vibe, and she just delivered that all the way through. Like, and just small little details. Oh my God, you guys, you'll see little snippets. I'll try to post stuff from like the practices. I actually did not walk through her practices when she was teaching as much, but I'm sure between Pro Action and everybody else and their mama like posting stuff. But she's one where I'm so blown away. And I mean, you are on that level where like I can't wait to see you just everywhere. If y'all don't use that girl's routine, I'm gonna be highly upset. I want to see people tagging her and seeing it throughout the season because those routines were all good. I could not come up with one favorite routine. So, and then I had a few shout outs. These were by name because I kind of knew the names, but oh, and I just wanted to appreciate like the details in like her choreography, especially the way that she played with the lyrics and the moments that she created around the lyrics so you could see what the hell was happening. Like, man, listen, I know what I'm doing and saying is kind of hard if you weren't there or you don't have the video. But when I post the video, I'm going to be like, this is what I was talking about. There were a few people who just stood out and killed it. Jamia from the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, like literally everywhere that you were just like mind blowing and just amazing. But dang it, killed it. Lexi from the Hawks. I had the Jazz and the Kings. I know there's some individual shout outs somewhere, but like you guys with her choreography, if you were taking her class, I saw you, you killed it. It was just not a game. She's so unassuming, you guys. So here she comes in to teach and she's got like not librarian glasses, but she just was just you didn't know that you were going to get all that. She's like you just didn't know what you were in for. So unassuming, so humble, but she killed it. The end. Okay, moving on. Jonathan Lewis. I don't. Again, there's some names that I feel like get promoted a lot, a lot, a lot. I haven't had the opportunity to have like a one-on-one conversation with Jonathan. He's very, very nice to me and let me hug him, even though he probably like, who is this lady? But he did 3 routines as well: Sunshine, Therefore I Am, and Santa Tell Me. I look forward to the holiday routines, you guys, because it just gives me like a lot of nostalgia from dancing with the Seahawks and being in our holiday uniforms. Like, I don't know if everybody's about that with the whole holiday performances, but it just made me feel so good. He had a really, really cute Christmas routine. And last year, I feel like more people brought their Christmas outfits to Pro Action for that holiday class. And please do that. Like, anybody who's going to take the holiday class, can you just plan, pack that uniform, and like take me to have, Christmas in July? Like, that's why that's my favorite routine from Jonathan. I wanted to point out, like, I think it's the Therefore I Am routine. Um, it was slower, and I'm just going to speak to kind of like what happens, at least from my perspective, when you slow down the music, because Pro Action is a lot of like super fast mixes and it's exciting, and I get it if you're at a game and you put on a slow song, it might suck the energy from the room or not. um, but for me, when the music is a little bit slower, I actually appreciate what I'm watching more, because it's like all of those details matter. Like, you're telling me a story, and the performance of those routines when the music's not like turbo fast, it's really just it's your time to really shine and grab the hell out of the audience. And I thought his choreography was really good for that, because it's just like you intention becomes really important, and like connecting. Like, I was brought in by a few of the dancers. I had like the blazer dancers in my mind for that particular routine. It's because I'm not overstimulated. There's not a lot of sound effects going on. It's not like a big mix situation. It's more like, tell me the story, and I'm here for it when I see people kind of like embrace that in the way that they perform. And so I appreciated that Therefore I Am routine and the Santa Tell Me, but I got to give it to the Santa Tell Me because it made me super nostalgic of my days with the Seahawks. Thanks for everybody for joining. I'm just going through my little rundown of all of the choreographers that I loved. Um, Jump in the comments if I missed. I live for the holiday routines. Yes, right. Somebody also mentioned Jamia from Kansas City. Like, she's freaking amazing. Um, yeah, we were all just going crazy over Nicole's rookie year. I still can't believe that. Goodness gracious. Okay, next. Joey Vela. Oh God. Velas. I'm so sorry, Joey, if I screwed it up. Okay. Joey is another choreographer that's been there. I don't know how long, but he did 3 routines: Applause, the J-Lo mix, and Tell the Vision. Okay, so Applause, I danced to Applause when I was on the Seahawks. And at first I was like, how did you bring this song back? Like, I want to see like what you did to kind of, again, like songs that people recognize that might be overplayed to some people, but like I really appreciated the visuals that he did with that song to kind of make it fresh, and the way that he uh, again, the way that you place choreography with music and kind of the way it all comes together really can like make or break a routine for me. I mean, again, I'm not trying to sound like I'm dancing with the stars and some trained professional. This is my opinion, but I was saying here that I particularly like the J Lo mix that he did. That's my favorite routine from Joey. Because like when you do, again, like I mentioned with Michelle, when you do like a mix of a particular artist, you can kind of like, he captured like the essence of J Lo, like all the favorite parts of the song, like just the right songs from J Lo, like the ones that are like just a full on bop. Like I really liked the mix, and I think in terms of the visuals, sometimes less is more. I'm just gonna say it, and I think there's a fine line and balance. I feel. I mean, I'm not trying to speak for any of the choreographers, but I know there's probably a lot of pressure with Pro Action to put together probably the, arguably like the best routines in the industry and all of that. But I sensed when it might have felt like I'm just trying to pack a routine with stuff versus, and I'm not critiquing anybody's choreography. I'm just saying like you can kind of feel it in the way that the dancers perform it, if that makes sense. I'm not knocking the choreo. It's just in the heat of the moment with all this pressure on and everything like that, when you see dancers free up and just have fun with the routines, it shows in the way that they perform it. So that's where my commentary is coming from. So I like seeing moments where the dancers breathe and feel like they're enjoying, and it's enough to like add their personality to the routine. So on the J Lo mix, everybody was almost like channeling some inner J Lo. I felt it. I loved it. So that's that. We're almost done. I promise. Last page. Okay. Well, yeah, last page. Okay. Jaden Harris, are you guys ready for this? Another rookie to the Pro Action choreographer circuit. A UNLV alumni. They just won Worlds of something. I'm not following college and remember all the competitions and stuff, but they're dope in hip hop. I feel like world champions in hip hop. I don't remember the name of the goddamn organization that it was organized under. He also teaches at Millennium Dance Complex in Vegas. He did 3 routines to Bustin', Do It, like the TikTok version of that song, and Boys. And the Do It routine was like my favorite, hands down. Again, just kind of like another fresh newcomer to the scene. I liked the way he taught his classes and just the fun in it. He really stood out as a performer last year when I went to Pro Action. Brittany and I were both like, who is this kid? Because he was just killing it. And, the whole UNLV dance team is another shout out for college level, like just next level. You guys stand out. You're amazing. But I was excited to see him as a choreographer. I didn't realize that he taught locally in the area. Um, I put high energy and engaging. I like the way that he kind of like allowed the routine to speak to both sides of the audience, like like engage with everybody. You're in an arena, you're like in a football field. So I really could see that would be a fun routine to put out there, to get everybody dancing and to engage everyone. I just thought it was a really, really fun mix. Um, and again, on the music point, I just said that there was like a great use of sound effects that like built with the routine and like made sense. Sometimes it sounds like noise, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the shit going on, but I did like the way it kind of took you somewhere with the song and the choreography. It like built up in the right kind of way and wasn't like random sounds. Good job. I just loved that routine. I said not random arcade sounds. But anyway, he was really, really good. So next I have Marino Ortega, obviously, the Celtics entertainment director. She did Break My Soul and Big Energy by Lotto, and like both of them were so good. And I had to give it to Break My Soul. And here's another little shout out moment. The pros in this section of like the formation that she made were the shit. Again, it was like so clear to me how we like live our best lives as pro and how we are just like not inhibited by any manner whatsoever. Like the Falcons, the Seahawks, like Victoria. I mean, everybody's name. Again, I wish I could just shout it out, but the ones I know, I'll say the Chiefs, the Hawks, the Blazers, the Winterhawks, the Pacers. Like this was an all women routine too in the showcase. Like it was all women, and maybe it was that feeling. Maybe it was the Break My Soul song, but I felt like people were like going to church with it. Like, man, like the freedom and the way that they performed that routine, and maybe it was the energy. I don't know. There was something special about that performance, and I realized I was like, is it because it's all women? Like, what is going on? But I felt the power, and it was really, it had me hyped. So that routine is one of my favorites from the whole weekend. The next up is Shannon Perez, another heavy hitter. She did Cash In, Cash Out, and Vegas, which was like a slower, I don't want to say sexier, but it was definitely a different vibe from what I've seen her teach. Um, Again, there were just some standouts here: the Sacramento Kings dancers, the Bucks, Pacers, Hawks, Seahawks, like the Utah Jazz. Like her routines are like attract so many people from the convention. Like they're really, really huge classes, and um, it's nice to see how like all of the groups and like all the different ways that you're able to play with having that many people on in a performance. And so like I'm curious to see how people end up using Shannon's choreography when it's like a smaller team, because there's so many dynamic things going on. So seeing how it all comes together when it's not like a huge group of people doing it, I'm curious like how well it reads in that way, because there's so many visuals that look so good when it's a big group. Like, not that it matters, but like I like her routines, like for something as big as like a halftime performance, because you really get to see even more so visually like what she puts together for her choreography. um Always super complex and fast and amazing. So shout out to everybody who took those classes. I'm just checking my notes, y'all. Yeah, like that's halftime performance to me. And I mean, I I want to see, I'll see it because everybody will use the routines and tag her and whatnot. But I think it's like, yeah, Cash In, Cash Out was crazy. And I would hate for the visuals to be lost because it's like on a smaller group of people. Does that make sense? I hope so. Does this help? I mean, am I do you need to see it? I'm going to post as much as I can. So listen back, it'll make sense later. Okay, Lisa Saragoza is next. I only have a couple more. She did Beggin', which was more like a jazz number, which I don't know if people associate her with hip hop. But she was a blazer dancer, and her jazz is so on point, and I like seeing her in that element too. She also did Family Ties, but the Beggin'. Oh, did I say my favorite Shannon routine? Cash In, Cash Out. That was easy. I want to say the other one, Vegas, because it was something different, but the visuals and Cash In, Cash Out were just like over. So for Lisa, I said Beggin' was my favorite routine because she really does it all. And you guys, she's expecting and she's up there like living her best life dancing. Um, I'm such a little mush about pregnant women. I mean, you're like superheroes, and seeing her up there and teaching and feeling good, and it just, I don't know, makes me really, really happy. I'm so happy for her. She was on the podcast. But yeah, she just, she's got the hard hitting hip hop. What did I put here? Oh, the Hawks dancer in the Beggin' routine. Um, what did I write here? Oh, Kiana from Seahawks. Okay, and I'm just gonna have to say this right now. Well, I'll say it later. You guys really looked good. I was so proud of you guys. Okay. And Drees from is it Dress or Drees? Jesus, if I'm saying your name wrong, I'm so sorry. But the Beggin' routine really was like my favorite. You guys really stood out. That's all I'm gonna say. I know I have half-ass names written out through here, but you stood out enough for me to write it down. So congrats on just killing it. Okay, Andy Vodka, you guys. Is it Dress? I'm saying it right. Not Drees. It's not okay. It's not the wine. I don't know why I want to say Dries, but it's Driss. Okay. All right, got it. Andy Vaca. Okay, so I gotta spend some time on Andy for a minute. So he also did an episode with the podcast, and I really encourage you guys to go back and listen to it. He gives like such a great like history lesson or perspective, I would say, on kind of how this space has changed. From him as a dancer to also, helping coach and choreograph for different teams as they're like forming, because it was like a domino effect after like Laker Girls and, just kind of seeing in the NBA space, like how the dance teams formed and such an interesting perspective. And when I talked to him last year at Pro Action, and him just kind of reflecting on how these opportunities for male dancers didn't necessarily exist. Well, they didn't really exist like that for him when he was a performer, which kind of like steered him more in terms of teaching and choreographing for different teams. But I just, I was really excited when I saw Andy's routine because there was a male dancer in the room. It was like a jazz piece to Jolene. Um, and it just made me reflect on, like what if you're a male dancer and, hip hop is not your jam? You are a technician and you want to do jazz and you want to showcase your training, and just seeing the dancer that was in his class. I don't know what college he was from. I don't think he was a pro dancer, but I have to pause. I paused because of the connection issue. I don't know if he was pro or not, but I just really appreciated the space of having male dancers that are able to excel in something other than hip hop, and just seeing like just a straight jazz routine and something fun. And so I just wanted to acknowledge that, because I don't think all male dancers want to be boxed into hip hop. I don't think all male dancers want to be, you know, boxed into like, I'm going to be the one that does a sassy, all of the things that just kind of serve a particular persona that may or may not fit them as a dancer. I just think freedom to be who you are and express yourself through dance is just so important. And so it made me happy to see his routine and seeing a beautiful jazz on a male dancer. The last choreographer, you guys, is Marino Ortega. She did It's My Life and Late Night Talking. She always delivers like very, very visual performances, in my opinion. I really enjoy the visuals, you guys. And just like timeless songs that you can just use and can't get sick of, kind of a thing, if you're using it for a routine. The comment I have here is Caroline from the Seahawks. Listen, you just really, I mean, you have like just the right touch. And I feel like this is kind of Seahawks dancers in general, just to toot the horn a little bit, but it's like just the right amount of extra, like little extra sugar on top, spice on top, but with in selling the performance. I think this particular dance, there were a lot of collegiate dancers, and again, it's just kind of like that distinction became really clear of like what makes pro, and like it's just that little extra oomph, and you were delivering. You stole the show for me. That's what I have in my notes. The last thing that I'm going to mention is the masterclass. Okay, Phil Wright. If you don't know who he is, I mean, you have to know who he is, but he's this international teacher choreographer. He's been everywhere on everything. He created the Parent Jam. I think he's got some other show. He's insane. He came to teach, and I liked with the schedule this year that the dancers got to take the last class, like after being just given 3 crazy routines day one. Day two, they are supposed to learn one other routine. And this year, they got to take that class first before the master class. Last year, it was flipped. They took the master class, which probably was a huge mind screw, because you had, if all this choreography that you tried to retain from the day before, you had this master class with someone from the Jabberwockies, takes you out of your element, screws your mind up real quick, and then you got to like focus again for the last class of the convention. So I thought that this flow was great. But Phil Wright, yo, like I know the dancers had to be like dead to the world, like dead. You already learned the last class. You have all this choreography in your head. People probably wanted to skip the master class. Felt like they couldn't kind of skip it because your director's there. Like, where are you? But I hope everybody felt how amazing it was to learn from him. He was an energizer bunny. It was like stick a plug into a wall. He demanded that energy and the dancing full out from his dancers, but did not like, but it was in like a very motivating way. You know what I mean? He taught a master class, not just with the moves, but just, I feel like he shook everybody up in the best way. Um, just like, uh, it was insane. I am going to post because it's been on my mind. He ended up picking this girl out. It was Choppa Style. And I don't even get me. That song is burned into my head for a while. But I just feel like the first few 8 counts, he just had everybody freestyle, like let loose. And man, just go crazy with it. Like the choreo just was freeing. You saw bodies move that probably could not move. I mean, people were like dead tired, I'm sure, but it's just like that whole room became electric. It was like so like what's the word I want to I mean, infectious. It was crazy. And watching that real time was like so I just was so hyped. And there's this one girl, the first person that he singled out for a solo that I have video of, even though there's like a light in the back, so you can't. It was so annoying. He got them to shut it off for a while because he just was like, I can't see. But Dalia, I think is her name. She's a collegiate student, a college dancer. I don't remember which team. I sent her the video though, girl, because I was like right by like had the best view of that moment for her where he pulled her out because she just nailed everything about that performance. And I also wanted to shout out Portland Rip City crew, Ramon. Like I heard he was like kind of the only dancer from the Rip City crew team. But just kind of like when you're taking a class and the choreographer sees you and calls you out for a solo, that's just like the moment, right? But those two really, really delivered. And I just hope everybody felt energized and inspired from learning from someone as dope as Phil Wright. Like that was a master class. And I was just so hyped during that. I mean, I have so many videos. Like he did a group of ladies. Again, Kennedy from Pelicans killed it. Like everybody just, I felt like everybody got their life from that routine. And I hope you felt that way. That's what I felt. The energy in the room was like insanity, especially knowing how much you guys had worked and tried so hard to like retain all of that stuff. But I hope they keep. I have a question for the dancers who were there. Did you feel like you would have absorbed more or felt less stressed if there was just more rest time in between the classes? I'm curious only because like, they definitely said like take care of your body and take breaks and have rest and this and that, but I just didn't see space for that in the schedule. And I'm so proud of you guys again because I watched you guys power through all that and like overcome that, even though that you hurt and you were tired and probably didn't have a decent meal. But I just am curious if like, is that just convention land and it's meant to like kill you physically and you just overcome and power through? Or would you feel like you were more like or less stressed, more confident if you just had more space to breathe in the schedule? I'm just curious because I didn't do dance conventions like that, but I always wonder because you can feel that like you can feel some of that tension and pressure on people, and some of the routines it came off in the showcase, and others not so much. But I'm just curious from your perspective. You can message me later. You don't have to put it in the chat, but like how you felt as dancers. Would you have liked more rest, 30-minute break between each class, or would you want to dance till 7 o'clock just so that you could have that kind of a schedule? Um, Oh, somebody says when there is a longer rest time, they have to schedule a re-warm up because your muscles get cold. That makes a lot of sense. So just power through, get through it, drink, take some Advil, and just yeah, get through it. Maybe that's the best approach so that you don't get because that risks more injury, right? Like if your body gets cold, your muscles get cold, and you don't warm up properly, and you're just going hard in the pain. Shout out to well, I'll give a shout out later, but like one of a dancer that was super super killing it. He actually wins one of my little fake awards. Was injured and I right before performing, and I know you guys are just dancing so hard, so I was just curious, like if it would make a difference if you had more of a breathing room or a chance to like sleep on it. You know what I mean? Because the next morning starts so freaking early that I don't think there's a sleep on it when you got to wake up to the ass crack it on. Okay, I'm gonna pause. The last part is just awards and a couple of announcements for next week. I feel like it went an hour, whatever. All right, the standout NFL teams, you guys. This was kind of hard because I don't think I'm biased. I covered this whole space for a very, very long time, but the two standout teams for me, and I have to kind of do them both. It's not just one. The Seahawks Dancers and the Atlanta Falcons. Listen, Ashley, Kiana, Caroline, Victoria events. I just felt like as a whole, you guys really, really represented well in your classes. Like, and I don't, it's not just our uniforms that kind of stand out and they're just so beautiful and just eye catching and all of the things, but I just felt like really, really strong showing. So the other team that gets my Ludwig standout, the Atlanta Falcons captains, Celia, Gianna, Brianna, Taylor, Jerisha. Listen, you guys just killed it. I mean, man, so much. I can't. Like, I really want to get back to another game this year. I just feel like you guys really, really showed up and showed out so hard. Like, you danced so hard. Just your delivery and the your kind of full out is what I'm talking about. Like, it was just very, very, um, man, it stood out. I'm just saying. And I know that there were like, okay, 5 of you guys, and maybe some of the teams that don't have like 5 people, they maybe have 1 or 2. But that's why I created an individual standout category. So that's that. So the standout NFL dancer for me was Jesse from the Bucks. I thought he was literally dancing his whole life. Every single practice that I saw him in, all the performances. I felt so bad that when he got injured. I hope you're okay. Um, and for the woman dancer that I picked, it was Jamia from the Chiefs. Every routine class that she took, the star, hands down. You are so stinking talented. Um, wow, is all I can say. You're insanely good. Okay, my standout NBA team. This was everybody's talented, you guys. You know that, right? But the standout NBA team for me was the Sacramento Kings. I don't know if it was 916 Crew or Sacramento Kings dancers who all was there and present. And I wish I could shout you all out by name. I met you guys at the end. But man, you guys looked amazing. Like every dance that I saw, I was drawn to the Sacramento Kings dancers when I watched. So, and there's a lot of great teams, but this was just a real clear winner for me. The standout NBA dancers was a little harder, so we got a few. Claire from the Kings dancers. This is for the ladies. Kennedy from Pelicans. Nay from Grizz Girls, because I think you were like the only one from your team. But again, standing out and holding your own in each class. For my male dancer, I picked Ramon from Rip City Crew. And kind of because I didn't know all the Sacramento Kings dancers' male names, but you guys just overall did so good. So good. I actually picked Ramon because of like that solo that he did during that master class. You just kind of see something come over the dancers when they just, I don't know, when they just let loose like that. And so I'm a fan of Ramon at this point. I just felt like he put it all out there on the dance floor and it would go off. Yes, that is what I felt. In terms of choreographers, my favorite choreographers for this past convention, I tried to pick them, one for each sex, but like it was really hard between Nicole and Michelle. I was trying to go off of like, but I mean, I gotta give it to Nicole, man. She came in and she just freaking just blew me the hell away. So Nicole, you get it. You get it. And when you guys see her routines out there all season long, you'll understand why. For the males, it was really hard to. It was kind of between Rob and Oscar for me, and I had to give the slight edge to Rob because of just like that. Really, like I connected with the performances and felt good watching and wanted to dance with you, and thinking of like seeing these routines in stadiums, in arenas. Like that's the feeling I think you want to. We're entertainers. We're professional entertainers, and that is the connection that I'm sure these front offices want with their crowd. Like that's what gets people engaged, frankly. And so Rob's choreography kind of did it for me. Oscars, everybody's did, but like if I had to pick and the gun was to my head, that's where it is. Do not sleep on them category. The last thing I'll say about Pro Action is Joey, whose last name I'm not going to butcher again. Please tag and make sure that people, when you're using these routines, that you give them credit and whatnot. But I really think like his choreography should be use all the damn routines. That's what y'all paid for, right? To go. Like I know some people think like, oh, we can't really use that, blah blah blah. Just try, because like just try, because these are great, amazing routines, and I just want to see more of it. And it takes, don't sleep on Joey at all. Like, I really, really want to see his stuff out there. And then the other one is Jaden from the UNLV. I mean, I think up and coming or already arrived, but very like fresh. We got some youngins, and I just think like that's one to watch in terms of the career growing. I already spoke on Nicole. Clearly, don't sleep on her, but you have no choice. You have been you have been warned. The last thing I'm going to say, because there were just a few announcements that I kind of forgot to say, is that I'm going to Choreography Pros this weekend. So 2 dance conventions back to back. I will be in Scottsdale for that convention. I cannot wait to do the same damn thing all over again and see these amazing performances and from these choreographers. It's going to be dope. Um, I'm just going to be mingling around and meeting you guys. Please come say hello. I can't wait to share footage from that event. And I also wanted to point out that the Golden State Warriors are having auditions. Um, I know you guys have been doing the damn thing, so I, don't need to kind of like spill out all the audition details, but August 4th is the deadline. I would just encourage people, because I know this world gets intimidating, right? Of like, oh, they're this world champions and it's so competitive. And, these are one of the kind of like the later auditions, you guys. And so put yourself out there. I really encourage people to submit an application and see what happens. There were so many people who took a chance on themselves last year, making moves cross country and went for it. And I think it's worth it's worth applying. See where it goes. Um, August 4th is the deadline again to register. August 6th is the preliminary audition. If I need to keep my butt still, I mean, I don't know how I'm ditching the Rona everywhere I go, but I really want to go to their finals. It's open to the public. Um, so apply, see what happens with the process. Maybe I'll see you at finals. I really kind of want to go. So I wanted to mention that. And then the last thing I wanted to mention was, that they have one more prep class coming up next Wednesday. So check them out on IG. Give it a chance. See how you feel and apply, you guys. Like, you never know what can happen between the gold squad and the blue crew. So put yourself out there, and best of luck to you for all the auditions going on. Somebody asked any news on the Celtics dancer auditions. I think they're the latest team without a press release audition date. I don't know if the Sixers entertainment team ended up saying something or not. I haven't had a chance to look, to be honest. I'm sure with Celtics, because of Pro Action, there was a lot of energy, obviously, on that. So I'm assuming that now that it's over, that they will quickly put that information out there. But I'll have more information next week in terms of just kind of updates on the NBA side of things. I'll report back. The last thing, and I don't know if it's Andrea or Andrea, but I think it's Andrea. Andrea Denson, she's a former Bengals cheerleader. I think she also cheered for the Tennessee Titans. She went to the NFL cheerleading alumni charity reunion that they had in Jacksonville, Florida this past weekend. I was kind of torn between Pro Action and going to that. This was like NFL cheerleader alumni from all the different teams. The footage was insane. They created a Hall of Fame, you guys, for NFL cheerleaders, which I think is so amazing. I remember mentioning that, like, we don't have like one overarching body that would do something like that in our space of like acknowledging our greats, and that just made my heart so full. I dying to have a download, so she might join me live at one point so that she can tell us all about that weekend. I can't wait. I want to hear all of the things. Um, yes, did I believe? Oh, the last thing I'll say, did I say last thing like 5 times? But this for real is for real the last time. I created a survey because I'm trying to do a little market research here. The link is in my bio. It's just to get to know the followers a little bit more of, and the appetite for like seeing routines and seeing content, like giving me your thoughts on what you guys would like to see and what you guys think you are worth in terms of entertainment. So I encourage you to fill out the survey, help me gather some information. When it comes to things like sponsors, when it comes to just events and things that really can kind of liven up our space, I think this is information that is good for us to know, for me to know, frankly. And so I encourage you to hit the survey in the link in my bio and let me know what you're feeling. There's only a few questions. I promise it'll go fast. I wanted to do like a giveaway associated with the survey, but things happen. But I will definitely be promoting the survey in Phoenix this weekend. I encourage everybody who's listening to spread the word about the survey, fill it out. It takes 2 seconds, and I can't wait to hear from you. Anything else for the good of the order? I know I kept you along, but damn, there was so much to talk about. Anything else? Again, for the collegiate dancers, shout out to FIU. Shout out to the University of Portland. They had a girl with a short haircut that was killing the game. I don't know her name, but damn it, she was good. UNLV again, University of Georgia, and literally all of the pros. You guys make this convention so special. I just applaud your effort. I applaud your hard work. I'm so proud of you. And with that, that is Cheer Chat on ProAction. I'm going to finish the rest of my wine. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Rest your bodies. Take care of yourselves. There's Claire. Okay, that's my girl. Just listen again because I ended up talking you up big time. So incredible. It was wonderful meeting you. You won one of my little awards of Standout Dancer. So just filling you in so that you can watch later. Anyway, sending all the love to everybody. Thanks for listening. And there's just, I think, 3 more episodes left. Is that right? 3 more episodes left. So I appreciate you so much. And you are in for a treat for these last few episodes for sure. So I will see you next week. I'll be talking about choreography pros and catching up on life that I may have missed over the past few days with audition updates. And I will see you guys then, okay? Have a wonderful night. Just, I'm so proud of you guys. You guys made, it was heart-filling, heartwarming, heart-filling. Is that a word? You know what I'm trying to say. I feel full, and I appreciated meeting you and seeing you in your element doing the most and living your best lives. And I can't wait for more of that feeling next weekend. Until next time, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.